I envision a community of service, one dedicated to supporting people in learning the skills needed to reweave the fabric of humanity that is becoming ever more torn and polarized. That will be one location where people who are committed to learning the skills necessary to do that work can come, meet each other, learn ways of not just doing things, but being, like feel it, and then go out into the world and be the change out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a place where you'll be able to come and to be able to have your voice participate in decision making. There's this word called reverence, which means like where we care for all living things. So we care for trees and we care for our grass and we care for the birds and we care for humans. So that's a place where we could go and learn about how to care for all of life.
I have a sense that what we're wanting to create is like a regenerative home where those of us who are doing this work of supporting conscious collapse of the structures that we're in, because they are collapsing, can come together and be regenerated, have a home place, and also where we can learn the skills by integrating the principles and applying them.
What is opened up when there's a true felt sense that everyone's needs matter? The difference in a relational feel that actually brings, the principles, practices, that the word trust, that support trust, to cultivate those capacities to nurture trust and to cultivate capacities to kind of live intention effectively. And I just have this kind of faith and conviction that what we're working on, there is a very real gift to humanity in it, and that it will be a place where that gift can be offered to the world.
That's something for me about what we want to create, is that we're not afraid of walking towards the fear and the hopelessness and the despair and things that we often in the wider culture are encouraged to, or encourage each other to walk away from, or try and pretend isn't happening, so we can be with the stuff we do have, or the good things, or the silver linings and all of that. But for us, we're actually going to those places of despair, because it's like within those places that we have the gems of what's really deeply important to us.
I know so many people who want to be non-violent or speak their truth or so many other things, and there's not enough modeling. So it's an important space for the whole world.
I'm holding this place as like a field of love, and that's just what's filling me.
I'd like to add a couple of things. One is that there is no aspect of life that we're not questioning and rethinking. Everything from the most internal to the most global is included within our research and explorations. So we don't know yet where it will be, but at some point it will be, and where it is, we will be local there, and we'll have to engage with whatever the local conditions and circumstances and challenges are. We don't want to be insulated like a bubble. Simultaneously, we are global, and that relationship between the local and the global is one research area. We don't yet know collectively how to do both well. We don't want to disappear into the local. We don't also want to be kind of like a some kind of an imperial presence wherever we appear. How we do systems, how we do, if we end up producing things, how we grow food, how we do our teaching, how we do resources. What does it mean to really share risks? How do we reconceive of sexuality, of relationships, of how to be with children? There's really no field in life, and the whole thing is about what happens when we take our vision and bring it as close as possible to the constraints that the world as it is presents to us. That's one piece of what the research lab that we're creating is about. It's for everyone, not just us.
This term that came to me is like purpose-based dissent. Like, we're not a community that's just open to any kind of dissent. You know, it's like we only have so much capacity. But within our shared purpose, we're open to dissent. And this is what Mickey's talking about the questioning everything and this principle of non-coercion to really kind of join growing movements of humans living together in ways that are truly collaborative. I would see in like 30, 40 years, like this very rigorous experimentation of what non-coercion actually means. And like we'll have a whole new understanding based on that very rigorous research about what does it mean to really truly be nonviolent, and this principle of as much love is necessary with as little force as needed. And really this dance between this and the complexities of living together and the complexities of the continued global crisis. What does it mean to truly use these principles of willingness, capacity, tenderness, rigorously together?
This image of a place where I come to change my relationship with change, so that I'm no longer afraid, and I'm no longer susceptible to the voices around me that say, oh, well, that's just how it's been. Well, that's just how we do it. Oh, there's something really important to me about this word accompaniment that is present here with a flavor that I have not experienced elsewhere. And it has to do with, I think it has to do with both an individual commitment to life and a togetherness in that. And that we really get it, that we are not alone. We actually have each other to lean into, and we've forgotten. So it's a place to remember that.
If I could take one thing to this place, what would it be? It would be a heirloom corn seed. I can imagine this place being resource for me as a heirloom corn seed, and I could be a resource for a heirloom corn seed. That's the reflection it came to my mind, that I'll be there as a seed, and I believe that there is enough resource for me to grow in a way I'm choosing. And that's how I relate to the space and to these meetings, as I'm receiving water, sun, and growing. And yeah, and I want to grow heirloom corn. So
what I envision in this community is being alongside each other, doing things that have meaning and use, and that come from the land that we love and we care for, and that go back to the land. And in the process, there's so much togetherness and belonging with the land, with each other, there's so much connection built into that. So that's what I want to share.